Hey friend, welcome. If we haven't met yet, I'm Jen. I'm a part-time online clothing reseller, which means I go to thrift stores, I buy used clothes, I list them on eBay and Poshmark and sell them hopefully for a profit. Today I'm shipping out 9 items and these sold on the 15th and 16th. Yeah, sorry, make sure I got my dates right. So this is Thursday and Friday's sales. I'm going to show you what I bought on Amazon. I was out of labels. I usually show my packages if I get a package at the end, but this is kind of in my way. So I just buy these 4x6 labels. I use a Jen's thermal label printer, and I like the stacked ones because I bought them in a roll before, and at the end they just get really curly and they like curl on themselves, and I hate that. So just wanted to let you know I bought those. I think I bought 2 packages of 500 and I think they were $20 a package. Shoot, I should have looked that up. I'm so sorry. All right, so my gross sales amount for 9 items was $244.79, and hopefully I'll remember to tell you my profit at the end, but I'll tell you my profit per item as I go along. These are a pair of Dansko shoes, and these are like a little pair of loafers. Usually Dansko, you find them in like the clogs, kind of medical looking clogs, but I recently sold a pair of Dansko, man, what were they? I forget what they were, but they sold really fast, and these did not. And I think the difference was the other ones, I found the style name. I Google lensed them and found the style name. And I actually, after those sold really fast and I knew I had these, I went back and tried to find the style name again for these and I couldn't. So anyway, I like to share sell-through rate and average sale price with you. Most of the time, I just share very basic searches because most of it's a kind of a time thing. But when I'm listing, I take more time with it and, you know, narrow down like size and color and things like that. So sometimes the comp information is going to be a little different than when I have actually listed it. Anyway, so Dansko loafers have an average sale price of $28.19 with a 16% sell-through rate. Loud door, sorry. And mine sold for $19. I had them listed. All right, I usually like to use paper to kind of shove in my boxes just so the shoes don't like flop around and stuff. Anyway, I had these listed for $24, and did I get an offer? Or did I send an offer? They sold for $19. I don't remember if I sent the offer or if they sent it to me. But yeah, they sold on Poshmark, and my tape is gone. All right. So let's see. I've had these for 10 months. I bought them at a Salvation Army rummage sale. So the church had a rummage sale, and it's like a bag sale. We don't have a Salvation Army store in our town. I would love that because I really like Salvation Army stores, but I don't have, I think the closest one is over an hour away. Yeah, anyway, I spent $1 on the shoes because they didn't actually go in the bag sale. They have their shoes priced at $1. So after these shipping, wait, I don't have shipping on Poshmark because that's how Poshmark does it. Like, they take the shipping cost and then they send you or me or whoever, I guess, the label. So after fees and my cost of goods, my profit is $14.20. I'm just shipping in a shoe box. This is actually a reused one. I bought my little kids some shoes because we needed some summer shoes and had a shoebox sent to me, so I just reused it again. All right, this is very cool. This is like it's kind of halfway between, it's like a heavyweight suit coat and then like a lightweight overcoat. But it's Brooks Brothers 346. Unfortunately, there are like no other tags in this. So there was no size, there was no anything. No fabric makeup. It does have, let's see if I can show you, a herringbone. It doesn't want to show up very well. It's like a herringbone print. It's a really small one. Yeah. I'm like, shoot, is it there? It's there. But it's just not showing up on the video very well. So I'm just gonna run a real quick lint roller on this just to make sure it's not terrible. All right, so I do think because of this label, I think this is vintage. I don't remember if I put vintage in my listing or not, but it's also like in really good condition. Like some of the, you know how they like stitch things together, like pockets and stuff? Some of those things were still stitched, and I don't know. Anyway, it's in really good condition. But like I said, because of that, man, I searched all the pockets. If you don't know, like on suit coats and stuff, look in all the pockets, all the interior pockets. That's where you'll find the tags. But this had none that I could find. So I had to take measurements, and I always take measurements of like suit coats anyway. I take pit to pit across the back. I take the length from the shoulder down the back. And then I also do shoulder to shoulder across the back, and then from the shoulder to the arm. And usually in shirts, I'd only do the pit to pit in the length. Shirts, sweaters, dresses, things like that. But on suit coats, I do those 4 measurements. I think I listed this more as an overcoat because that's what it seems like to me. It's really long, so I don't know. Hopefully I listed it right. Anyway, I looked up again, very basic search, Brooks Brothers coat. Average sale price is $58.07 with a 12% sell-through rate. I listed mine for $60. Someone offered me $50 and I accepted it. The fees are always, you know, the fees are percentages, and so it always feels like a lot. You sell something for a little higher like that. So I did pay $10 in fees because of the 20%. I bought this at the bins, which is the Goodwill outlet where you pay by the pound. So I usually average that each item costs me about $2, but obviously this is more than just like an average item, it's heavier. And so I just said it probably cost me about $4. And that makes my profit $36. And of course there's gonna be an airplane or something. We live, I don't know, maybe 5 miles. I've never actually measured it. I'm just trying to think about where it is. Yeah, probably 5 miles from a little regional airport. So we get lots of air traffic. There was a bright yellow helicopter that was kind of circling yesterday. It was kind of fun. Okay, there we go. This I talked about the other day. I listed these and then got a bunch of lowball offers on it. I've been getting a lot of lowball offers, but these are like some vintage track shorts. Pretty, you know, retro, cool looking Adidas. I used bloke in the listing. I don't know if that's the right thing. This is also the one I said I thought they were guys, but it was like there were 2 lowball offers that were sent to me, and they were both female names. So I don't know. I'm pretty sure they're actually vintage, but there's the tag. I don't really know Adidas very well, Adidas, to know for sure, but I looked up vintage Adidas track shorts. The average sale price was $34.80 with an 11% sell-through rate. I did a lot of research on this, trying to find out like how I should really price them. I priced them at $35, and I did finally accept an offer of $25. So maybe a little lower on, you know, what sold. They did only take 9 days to sell. I forgot to tell you how much the other 2 took to sell, or the coat. It wasn't very long. It was like 2 weeks, I think. This I also got at the Salvation Army rummage sale, a different one. They took me a while to list. They like sat in a pile for a while. I don't really have a death pile. I just kind of have an active inventory pile, but sometimes things kind of get stuck at the bottom of the pile and things get piled on top. You know what I mean? Anyway, 9 days to sell. My profit is $19.40. This is, I thought this brand was vintage, but I guess it's maybe not. Some of it is probably, but Denim & Co. I thought the whole brand was vintage, but this is like a linen blend, has eyelet in it. I mean, look how cute that is. So this is a little top, and I never finished my thought. There's also a pair of pants that goes with them, and it has the little eyelet embroidered kind of detail. It's just like pull-on pants. Super comfy, cute little outfit. But yeah, apparently Denim & Co. I guess is like a shopping network, QVC, HSN, whatever, one of those kind of brands. That's what I've heard. I didn't actually look up to find out for sure, but whoever said it, somebody said it in the comments, so I believe them, because there's a lot of people that know a lot more things than I do out there in the world. So anyway, I probably should have, I meant to look it up the other day, and as I was thinking about it, I forgot. So anyway, I looked up Denim & Co. linen blend set. The average sale price was $15.42 with an 8% sell-through rate. And yeah, that was pretty low. I got an offer. I think I got an offer for $16. Maybe I sent the offer, and it sold for $16 on Poshmark. So I've had this for 8 months. Again, Salvation Army rummage sale. Win for that. They'll have one. They just had one in March, so they'll have one again, I think, in July. The one in March wasn't fantastic. It was okay. I spent $1.50 on this, and my profit is $11.30. All right. Someone said, hey, tell us how you... I struggle with this a lot. Someone said, hey, tell us how you do sell-through rate, because I think that's important, and I do think that's important. But then I've also had people say, hey, stop telling us how you do sell-through rate every time. So, it is what it is. I do these videos every day, so sometimes you might hear, if you watch my videos on a regular basis, you might hear things more than once. Also, I might forget to say things for like a week and a half. Sell-through rate is the amount of items sold divided by the amount of items sold and listed. So an 8% sell-through rate, if we're doing very basic math, there's 100 items listed, 8 of them are going to be sold, 92 still listed. Not a great sell-through rate. This has a fantastic sell-through rate. It is 67%. So this is a world literature anthology. If we're learning language arts through literature, the Gold Book, which is high school. This is a homeschool curriculum. And it was my homeschool, not mine, but my daughter's homeschool curriculum. I do homeschool my kids. I have 4 kids. They're 17, 15, 9, and 7. And somehow I ended up with 2 of these. My oldest daughter is actually using this, not my oldest, sorry. My freshman daughter is actually using this exact curriculum this year. And yeah, so the average sale price is $16.36. Mine sold for $14.96, but the other one that sold higher to make that average sale price higher actually had like the workbook and the anthology with it. So I have access to homeschool curriculum because I homeschool. However, I have seen it at garage sales, at thrift stores, at wherever. If it's something that you know, would be willing to list if you're a reseller, I would look it up because oftentimes the sell-through rate's really good. And if you can get it for cheap or free or whatever, it's worth it, and it usually sells pretty fast. This actually took 6 months to sell, but you know, 6 months ago was what, November? Most people aren't looking for curriculum in November. They will either start looking kind of at the end of the school year or towards the beginning of the school year, like over the summer. So I had this for 6 months. It was ours, so I had no cost of goods, except I bought it for something. I just don't remember. And it sold for $14.96. With shipping, they paid $18.10, and so my profit is $8.65. This is one of my favorite things to sell, and it's linen. I love selling linen. And this is Rachel Zoe. Zoe would have like the little accent, right? Anyway, it's 100% linen. It's just like a cardigan. Very lightweight, airy. I have a couple of these and I love them. Not this exact style, but a nice lightweight cardigan is great for someone like me who loves a cardigan, but you know, it's summer. Anyway, this has an average sale price of $14.28 with a 19% sell-through rate. I looked up Rachel Zoe linen cardigan, and mine sold for $19.96. I think I had it listed for $25. I generally list my like bread and butter items, so the brands that I can sell pretty consistently, and the types of items that I sell pretty consistently, for about $15 in profit. Even if the sell-through rate is lower, the average sale price is lower, I will often list them for $25 because my experience is I can get that. So I listed it for $25. I send out 20% off offers, and it sold for $19.96. With shipping, they paid $26.17. I had this for a month. I found it at the bin, so I paid $2, and my profit is $15.01. So like perfectly exactly what I wanted that to do. Sell in a month, $15 profit. Super happy about that. Rachel Zoe is a brand that I'm only ever gonna buy if it's 100% linen. So I'm not telling you what to do. Like, if you find a different Rachel Zoe and you want to sell it, you go for it. I will support you 100%. I'm just telling you what I'm doing. This is another like bread and butter thing for me, and this is the brand Chico's. So bread and butter, when I talk about that, I just mean like something that I consistently sell. So Chico's not necessarily consistently, but got a little breezy in here. But this like bright pattern, that it seems like of the Chico's that I sell, it's like a bright pattern like this. So I also, this is a size 3, so in Chico's that's an extra large. I try to stick with 3s and 4s in Chico's now. That wasn't always the case, but that's what I'm trying to do. Sometimes I talk myself into buying 1s or 2s or 0s. In fact, I had another sale of another Chico's item over yeah, a couple days ago, that I went, it was an offer that was sent to me. I accepted the offer, and then I had a message on eBay, and I went and read the message, and it was like, please, I sent an offer, but please don't accept it because I accidentally, like, I didn't look good enough, and they were looking for size 3, but it was a size 1. It was a pair of Chico's shorts. And so I had already accepted the offer, and it was an automatic payment, so I just went back and canceled the item. But it was a size 1, and it didn't sell. They were looking for a size 3, so I just thought that was kind of interesting. Anyway, this is, let's see. So I looked up, oh, so that had kind of like a fleur-de-lis pattern on it, and when I looked that up, there was an average sale price of $17.97 with a 50% sell-through rate. So that fleur-de-lis pattern, half of them were selling. So, and that did include mine that sold. And then if I just looked up Chico's button-up, the average sale price was $16.55 with a 15% sell-through rate. So that pattern does make a difference. I find that paisley works really well, like an abstract pattern usually sells really nicely in Chico's. So anyway, enough talk about Chico's. I also listed that for $25, and it sold for $19.96, the 20% off. They paid a total of $25.48, and I've had that for 2 months. I bought it at a church sale, like a church rummage sale, and my profit was $15.02. Loving that. It's perfect. All right, this was another our, like it belonged to us item. This, my little helper wore this like twice. It's not really her style, but so cute. This is mini Bowden, and so it's like the kids version of Bowden, and it's just a little t-shirt. I looked up mini Bowden teacup shirt, and it was 100%, no, it was a 50% sell-through rate, and it was just mine that had sold. I just looked up mini Bowden t-shirt, and the average sale price was $13.95 with a 16% sell-through rate. I just listed for $15. It was just one of those, like, if my kids' stuff is nicer, a nicer brand, if I can resell it, then I will, just to make a little bit of extra money, because, you know, I have to buy them new clothes. Because they keep growing. And yeah, so I'm not necessarily worried about like my profit margin and things like that when I'm selling my own kids stuff. So anyway, I priced it at $14 or $15, and somebody offered me $10, and I went ahead and accepted that. So I did have this, I promote most of my items, actually all of my items, and I generally play with the promotions between like 2 and 5%. I think everything's promoted at 4% right now. So I did pay an extra 68 cents in fees on that, which is kind of annoying, but it is what it is. It's like, you know, pay to play. Oh boy, something's happening. What's ew?
Well, apparently, according to,
your brother? Yeah.
he wants to stick his bacon in his lemonade.
Oh, that is kind of ew. Okay. Anyway, this took 3 months to sell. My profit was $7.76, so I can take that and, you know, buy her 3 or 4 new shirts with it. Because I buy everything used. And I do know I bought that at a consignment sale. I remember buying it. Sometimes I just remember buying things, which is kind of weird. But this is very cool, I think. And it is a sweater. Check that out. It's like a turtleneck sweater. It has some light discoloration in it, and it was really hard to photograph. And the person who bought it, I think it's the person who bought it, I assumed, messaged me about it, and I just said it was really hard to photograph, and it's light, and it's one of those, like, I try to under promise and over deliver. So if I see something that's like a little bit, I'm gonna disclose that. And yeah, I think it's fantastic, and I think they're gonna love it. The brand is Banana Republic, but check out this tag. that is definitely vintage, right? It is, oh, it's still made in China, but oh my word, that's a really cool tag. It's 100% lamb's wool. I used Fisherman. This sold really fast. It sold in 8 days. I also found this at the bins. And yeah, so I looked up vintage Banana Republic turtleneck sweater and lamb's wool Fisherman, and that was too much in the search. It didn't even pull mine that sold. So I'm not sure how, but I don't remember what I ended up getting it down to, but I think it was like cable knit turtleneck lamb's wool sweater, something around something around that line. Anyway, I listed this for $50, sent out 20% off offers, and it sold for $39.96. So super, super pleased with that. I need a bigger, oh, this is gonna be a disaster. Okay, I'm just gonna take, okay. This is not ideal, but I have a outlet in my ceiling. It's for the garage door opener, but anyway, here we go. Bigger one. Someone sent these to me. I love them so much. These are shipping hip, and they're eco-friendly, like made from recycled materials. Love them. I couldn't find them on the website though. On the shipping hip website. Yeah, kiddo. You can ask your dad that. Dad's home, so we party. And we have donuts and bacon. It is not a normal breakfast for us around here. But I'm not sad about it. Okay, so I found this at the bins because it's heavier. I just kind of estimated that I spent about $3 on it. I told you it sold for $39.96. With shipping, they paid $49.20, and my profit's $30.92. My total profit for those 2 days was $158.26, which is fantastic. Just over my goal. My daily goal is $67 in profit, so that I can make about $2,000 a month. I will tell you, I double checked my monthly, like, am I on target for the month? And I'm not. I'm a few $100s behind, which has been like a thing lately. However, the last week has been kind of rough with listing. I haven't been as consistent as I want to be, and in fact I went like 4 or 5 days without listing anything at all. I was delisting and relisting, so definitely, you know, things I can do to make that better. It does seem like quite a few of these things sold quickly, and so that makes me feel like I'm finding things that are, you know, people are wanting, which is good. I was really concerned about that Banana Republic sweater with it being May. I was like, who's gonna buy a lamb's wool sweater in May? But somebody did within 8 days, so I'm thrilled about that. All right, question of the day. What do you like to eat for breakfast? I can smell the bacon. I haven't eaten yet, so I can smell the bacon. Bacon and donuts. That's what I like to eat because that's what I'm gonna eat today. It's not like I said, not a normal thing. We usually will do, we're carby breakfast people, sadly. So we like to do, you know, bagels and cereal and oatmeal and things like that. We've done, you know, seasons of our life where we're a little on the, you know, more protein heavy, but right now we're just all the carbs all the time. It's delicious. And, you know, especially with like hearty oatmeal, it does kind of stick to you and makes you feel full for a really long time. I do tend to add protein to things. I like to do loaded cereal, which is like, I like smear peanut butter on the bowl and then put the cereal in, and then add like protein powders, my milk, and then add like fruit and chia seeds or hemp seeds or something. And that is so delicious. It makes me feel so much more full than if I just eat a bowl of Cheerios. So anyway, yeah, let me know in the comments, what do you eat for breakfast? I'll try not to make the whole week all about food. I know I kind of theme my questions sometimes, but Anyway, that's all for me today. So make sure you like the video if you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't already. I do these ship with me videos hopefully every day, and just kind of chronicling what a part-time reseller actually sells. So I really appreciate you hanging out with me. I'll see you soon.